The Last Letter by NightDrift Story. A story about a man who spent his whole life delivering other people's stories. And the one morning, he found something missing. Episode 1. The Disappearance. Chapter 1. The Overflowing Mailbox.
Eric woke up at the same time he had woken up for 35 years. 5:47 a.m. Not because of an alarm. His body simply knew. His house was small and quiet. A kettle, a chair by the window, a coat rack with one jacket on it. The blue one, slightly too large, worn so long it had stopped feeling like a jacket and started feeling like a second skin. He made his tea, ate his toast standing at the kitchen counter. Then he put on his postal cap, picked up his leather bag, and walked out into Ashmore. The first time Faye left him coffee, he almost walked past it. A small paper cup sitting on the edge of the cafe windowsill. No name on it. Just a little folded note that said, "For the mailman." He stood there for a moment, not quite knowing what to do with it. Then he picked it up, took one sip, kept walking. The next morning, there was another one. That was 3 years ago. 3 years of cold mornings made a little warmer. They never exchanged more than 10 words. She smiled. He nodded. He picked up his coffee and kept walking. It was the smallest kindness anyone had ever shown him. Somehow, that made it the largest. On this particular Tuesday, the cup was not there. Eric noticed, said nothing, kept walking. But at the end of his route, he passed the cafe again and saw it. Faye's mailbox. So full, the letters were folding against the lid. She collected her mail every single day. Every day for as long as Eric had been delivering to this street. He stood there on the Ashmore pavement. Something was wrong. He could feel it the same way he felt everything on this route. Quietly, certainly. Like a letter delivered to the wrong address. He reported it to the police that evening. They took his name and nothing else.
Chapter 2. The Cold Case. 7 days passed. 7 mornings without coffee on the windowsill. 7 evenings walking home past an overflowing mailbox. 7 days of Ashmore going about its business. As if nothing had happened. As if Faye had simply never existed. The police investigation was already cold. They had concluded she left voluntarily. No signs of struggle, no witnesses, no reason to look further. Eric went back to the station on the 7th day. He sat across from the officer behind the desk. The officer had the kind of face that had stopped being surprised by anything a long time ago. Neat uniform, tired eyes. The smile of a man who had learned to look helpful, without actually being it. Eric laid out everything he knew. Her routine, her patterns, her mail schedule. He spoke slowly and clearly, the way he always did. Nobody forwards their mail if they plan to leave. Nobody leaves a fresh pot of coffee on the counter. Nobody who smiles that warmly at a cold old postman every morning just disappears. The officer listened, nodded in the right places, then smiled the way people smile when they want you to stop talking. "We appreciate your concern, sir. We'll keep the case open." They would not keep the case open. Eric could see that in the way the officer was already reaching for the next file, before he had even stood up. He walked back out into Ashmore,
Nobody believed him. Nobody believed the old postman who missed his morning coffee. He went home, sat at his kitchen table, checked the last of his undeliverable mail for the day, the way he did every evening, without fail. Just another undeliverable. Most of it was the usual. Wrong addresses, forwarding expired, names that no longer matched the doors. Then one more at the bottom of the pile. No forwarding address. No explanation. Just a name. Eden Cole. Eric set it aside with the others. He had his own mystery to solve. He made his tea, sat in his chair by the window, looked at his hands. 3 months left on the route. And somewhere in Ashmore, Faye's mailbox kept filling up. Letter by letter, day by day.
Chapter 3. Margaret's Letter. Eric got home that evening the same way he got home every evening. Boots off at the door, bag on the hook, kettle on. He was reaching for his cup when he noticed it. A letter in his bag that shouldn't be there. He hadn't noticed it on the route. He didn't know how long it had been sitting there. He picked it up slowly, recognized the handwriting before he even opened it. He knew that handwriting. Margaret, the elderly woman from the end of his route, dead for 14 months. Eric stood in his hallway under the yellow light and stared at the envelope for a very long time. Then he opened it. Eric, everyone in Ashmore thinks Faye is gone. She is not gone. She is alive. They took her. There is a difference, and that difference is everything. Do not stop looking. Eric read it 3 times. Then he sat down slowly in his chair by the window, looked at his hands. Outside, Ashmore sat quiet and dark in the rain. Perfect little streets, perfect little houses, a perfect little town that had just started sending him letters from the dead. The dead are writing, and Eric is listening. Episode 2 is coming soon. Subscribe to NightDrift Story so you never miss what comes next. And if you enjoyed this story, share it with someone who loves a good mystery. The Last Letter.